Hello and welcome to the Car Truth Report, bringing you the car truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, unless we get it wrong. I'm your host for the day and cartoon car newsman with a plan, Nor Lahi. Thank you for joining us. Today on the report, the truth about sports cars and SUVs. But first, are you young and cool or old and uncool enough to wear a leather jacket? If so, you are going to love this. We would like to announce our very first contest. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, we will be giving away this wicked CTR leather jacket. The winner will be chosen from the comments, and you must be a subscriber to win. And now, more of the truth. We here at the Car Truth Report feel there are many mistaken cliches about sports cars and their owners, which would be more accurately applied to SUVs. Here are our favorite three. Number one on our list of cliches is the tired old trope that SUVs are safe and sports cars are somehow dangerous. This makes a lot of sense when you first look at the two. I mean, how can that little Corvette be anywhere near as safe as this massive Ford Excursion? Wouldn't you want as much metal as possible around you and your loved ones? Look at the ride height. My SUV will drive right over your little car. This is the sort of faulty thinking that gets people to buy these oversized land yachts. There are good reasons why you should not look at a heavy, high-riding vehicle as safe, and it comes down to braking and handling, among other things. While it is true that an SUV to car impact will generally favor the occupants of the SUV, it is this program's opinion that the safety of a vehicle should also include the 7 or so billion people who just happen to be on the outside. Calling a vehicle safe because it is 1,000 times more likely to kill the occupants of another car during an accident is not our definition of safe. The second reason we feel sports cars are safer than SUVs in the vast majority of situations is because having a big heavy mass way up off the ground makes the vehicle difficult to quickly maneuver or even stop at freeway speeds. Sports cars have excellent handling because they keep the center of gravity low to the ground and also tend to have large brakes and good tires. Don't even get me started on people who buy a massive SUV for their teenager in the hopes that it will keep them safe. My Tristan deserves to live, but screw everyone else on the road. Trust me, he can get that 4Runner going plenty fast enough to turn both of them into confetti come collision time. Coming in at second, we have the popular myth that sports cars are inefficient. Many people, my parents, think that sports cars are gas-guzzling monsters just because of their larger engines. This is simply not true as it once was. Direct injection, twin-scroll turbos, and a host of other equipment that was science fiction a couple of years ago is now standard kit on a bargain econobox. Keep in mind, we are talking about sports cars, not 900 horsepower supercars or those crazy Chrysler contraptions. While smaller engines do offer some gains in an automobile's overall efficiency, vehicles use the most energy when they are accelerating, so the sports car's lower weight compared to an SUV gives them a win here. The second main culprit for an SUV's terrible MPG ratings is its aerodynamic drag, due in no small part to the unnecessarily high ride height. Score one more for the sports car. So let's see how SUVs and sports cars compare. A sports car is usually small, lightweight, and aerodynamic. An SUV is a large, heavy tower that lumbers along. Given the same powertrain, which do you think would be more efficient? Are there fuel-sipping SUVs? Not really. Are there fuel-sipping sports cars? Absolutely. Just look at the Miata, the BMW i8, or even the C7 Corvette, a car which turns itself into a 4-cylinder when cruising along and can get 30 plus mpg on the highway. The Toyota Highlander Hybrid gets a measly 27 mpg on the highway, while the BMW i8 can see 76 miles per gallon combined. The third and final point we need to discuss is the ever-present belief that sports cars are a libido replacement device forced upon society by men suffering with, let's just say, performance issues, and SUVs are somehow not. Quick aside, anyone who actually owns a sports car can attest to the puzzling truth that they attract a lot more wang than tang. Instead of showing you pictures of well-adjusted people driving Corvettes and Ferraris, we at the report would like you to consider this truth. Most people who buy sports cars have a specific interest in that specific vehicle. How do we know this? One does not buy a Porsche jacket, and gloves, and coffee mug, and wristwatch, and embroidered hand towels for the bathroom without more than a passing interest in that car. Most people who buy SUVs are embarrassed to admit they are parents at all, and by extension, no longer capable of being cool. How do we know this? Minivans, station wagons if you can find them anymore, and hatchbacks are cheaper, more efficient, infinitely more versatile, and often better looking than the SUVs, but carry with them a stigma that makes most men run straight for a Ford Explorer or Toyota Highlander. If you really need a grocery getter, consider something like a Pacifica or Audi A7 wagon. In short, most people buy sports cars because they want them. It is usually a well thought out purchase. Most people usually buy SUVs because they lack the self-esteem or knowledge to get something more logical. Finally, we would be remiss not to mention the situations in which purchasing an SUV actually makes sense. After weeks of diligent research, the Car Truth Report's Department of Car Truths has determined every circumstance under which you should buy an SUV. Number 1, if all the police cars where you live are four-wheel drive. Number 2, if you need to tow something like, I don't know, maybe a sports car or race car. Number 3, if you drive around VIPs who need well-armed security teams with them. Number 4, if you live someplace like Alaska or Nepal. And number 5, if you are taller than 7'7" and literally cannot fit in a car. Am I saying that SUVs are pointless death traps? No, but I am saying there needs to be a hell of a lot less of them, and there usually is a better option. Am I saying that sports cars are the safest, most sensible, most efficient cars you can get? No, but they're not as bad as SUVs, and there needs to be a hell of a lot more of them. We hope you've enjoyed episode 3 of the Car Truth Report. What do you think? Can sports cars start getting the respect they deserve? Why don't girls dig my sick handbrake turns? Is there really anyone out there who can't actually fit in a car? Let us know in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and send us money so I can finally get that beaded seat cover for my gypsy cab.